Here we go. Part 2 of the Magnify deep dive analysis. I had to make 2 parts because my whiteboard wasn't big enough to do the whole song. So that's why I'm in the same shirt, because I literally just took a break to write this next part of the board up. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, it is best that you go back and do that. Otherwise, you're going to be fairly confused. I'm doing a deep theory / inspiration / what are the riffs deep dive of Magnify, which is Diathek's latest single. Hopefully not for long. We're trying, guys. We're looking at May probably, so, but it'll be worth it. I promise you, Splendor is going to really be inspirational, I think. So here we go, back to Magnify. We are starting off at the 7-minute section, where the bridge prime, this means prime, that means, you know, in theory, if you see a letter with a prime on it, it's based on a section that happened before with some slight changes to it. So anyway, B prime, this is the, that whole section. It's pretty much the same thing. 2 notable differences. The drums really drives it home, puts that snare on the nice 2 and 4, nice driving beat. And for you bass players out there, that is where I go as high as the G string, fret 20, no, not 20, fret 18, I think, is the highest I go. Yeah, I'm more of a bass player, so you can bet that I'm going to use all the strings and probably all the frets at some point in the song. So that little bass riff goes really high up there. I love it. No one's commented on it yet, so I'm assuming you guys can't hear it or don't care. It's probably the latter. So anyway, that polyrhythm, I explained that in the last video. Kind of the same thing. Mike really makes the drums crazy here. Like, some of those beats, I'm like, what is going on? So anyway, now we are at the key change, and I bracketed this because this is where I consider the key of the song finally changes. Now, there's a difference between when a key changes and when you're just borrowing chords, okay? You can borrow a chord from any key you like, but it doesn't mean you're in that key. To me, to be in a key, you have to establish a new home base, establish a new direction that the chords will weave into. And in this case, I chose the parallel major. So the song starts off in C sharp minor. This section is pretty much in C sharp major, but I treat it more like a mode, so it's not completely happy. It just kind of elevates the mood of the song. So anyway, that link, which you know is the really pretty chords there. I love that section. Simple. B flat minor with, you know, take the minor off, so B flat 2 as well. A11, that's the nice, it sounds like a Lydian scale, kind of. Love it. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then this is where the C sharp major is introduced, and the 7th is there only because the first hit's major. When you do the chugs or the little palm muted things. Repeat that, getting out of this to make it even more convincing that we're going to a mode. I have that, wait, where am I? Yeah, E flat, that should say minor, E flat minor suspended. You have heard my, I'm not Mike, so. Thick. there's a lot of upper chords going on there too that I don't remember, so I won't butcher that for you. So let's talk about this chorus. This is where Mike comes in, and if you've listened to City of Auburn before, his other band, alternative pop punk rock kind of band, emo, you know that Mike likes to soar with his singing. He sits up there really nicely, so his melody really tickles on the extensions of these chords. You have heard, let's see, that's an F. So his melody's landing on an F right on top of a G flat. Now, the G flat doesn't have an F in it. Unless you put it there. Where would that be? You have heard. That's what makes it so big. The more notes you stack on a chord, the bigger it's going to be. Now, to not make it muddy, you can erase some of the notes that aren't as necessary to make it the characteristic what it is. That's a theory lesson. I don't really want to go there right now. But Mike's melody isn't really sitting on the chords that he's landing. It's part of the extensions, which is anything that's beyond a triad. So, like, for instance, this chord, those are the 3 notes in this chord. So G flat, B flat, D flat. His melody isn't landing on one of those, and it's the same thing with this chord and so forth. So anyway, we have basically a downward motion here. The bass part for this song, aside from the little movements I do here and there to keep it interesting, you really could stay within like 3 or 4 frets the whole section, and you're like, really? Like, yeah, the bass part is pretty chromatic here. G flat, F, E flat, E. Well, that should be B over E flat, actually. I screwed that up. I don't know where my marker went. But yeah, pretty easy stuff. When the chorus repeats and Mike stays up there and my vocals come in underneath him, we're doing some harmony action, and it took us a minute to get used to our notes with these chords, because especially on the you have heard my cry, plead my case, the day and night. Like, I'm singing a 13th there, and I think Mike is singing day and night. He's singing the 11th. So we are just stacking this like crazy. But it gives us the freedom to move kind of wherever we want, because the more notes in a chord you have, the more freedom you have to move to a different mode or a different key perhaps. And with these 2 chords right here, make yourself known. We magnify. Bum, 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 bum. See, we landed back on that C sharp. So now we've explored this key. Mike and I had our little harmony fun. Beautiful strings in the background. Some of that high guitar tremolo stuff. Now that we got through all that, we are almost at the 9-minute mark, and we come back finally. After close to 9 minutes, we are back to the opening riff. So this guy comes back in with Mike on the ride a little bit, and their bass part comes in later. But I wrote this chart for you guys so you can visualize vocally what is going on here. So this is how many rounds that section happens. So it happens 4 times. And these are how the vocals build as the sections go on. So first round, you guys noticed there's no vocals, just to get you used to the variated. Remember, it's A prime. It's not the same. It's a variated version of that riff. So J means me, John. Mike is M. Sarah is S. Now, Sarah Copus, I'm going to throw a little thing out there for you if you ever watch this. But Sarah is the guest performer on both Bereavement and Magnify for different purposes. Bereavement, she was the harpist, and she did a little bit of vocals for us, but on Magnify, she just helped with the choral section, which is primarily why we had made Day and Night, because we really wanted to showcase her voice more, because she gave us beautiful takes. And the way the song was, I only needed her right here, and this section doesn't last that long. So that's what that female voice is in Day and Night you hear a lot. That's Sarah, and she is 16, I think. She's a pretty young girl, virtuoso musician, just incredible. We're so thankful. She has a project with her parents called 2002. It's a lot of Celtic kind of peaceful music. You know, they got the harps and the acoustic guitar and whatnot. Beautiful stuff. Check it out. 2002 is the band name. Sarah Kopis. She's awesome. She did such a great job with us. So, and then this is J down, which basically is that super sub octave that some people thought was a robot. Like, no, I can actually get down there. I don't know about right now, because my voice is really shot from talking a lot. Magnify. Yeah, I could do it louder if I was warmed up, but whatever. Round 1, no vocals. Round 2, magnify day and night. All the earth knows the Lord God reigns here. Mike joins me on the upper 5th here, so it's a really strong root and 5th harmony going. Magnify, magnify. Mike takes the high road like always. That's what Mike's good for. 4th time, you get Sarah and Mike doing most of the higher parts, kind of just a nice blend. Then you get my sub octave in, and my melody's still hidden in there. The drums kind of fade out. It's just the bass part and the guitar part there. So that's how vocally that section worked. I wanted that big choral effect, and I think Hunter, which was the engineer for this album, this song, whatever, it might as well be an EP, did a great job with that. But harmony-wise, how it worked, we had Sarah do the upper 5th and the upper 3rd. Mike did an upper octave of the melody, which was really cool. I had the bottom end, so you know, there's just 3 of us doing it, but the way we stacked it, it definitely makes it so that I think there was 5 or 6 actual parts going on. So it was nice and big. We all know what happens right around here. It fades out nicely, and then you get the that slammer riff in my gotta have one of those in there. But honestly, take away all the decorations, you're really only dealing with these 3 chords, which is similar to the beginning, but it's kind of a safer, more resolved way. So whereas before I probably would have done that G flat 7, now it's just a straight up B. So as easy as this is, it's frets 4, open, and 2, with some variant stuff between them. I love that part of the riff. And then that riff comes back. Finally, I introduced it really early in the song, and I had to bring it back for the ending. So then you all know the breakdown, if you will, kind of comes in there. That riff's going behind it, and Mike soaring on top with the magnify. Like, yeah, yes. That's what Mike's good at. That A flat 4 right there. Shove it. So anyway, and then the song just ends on that really cool, the strings are going on. Some little bass things in there, percussion stuff. We come to the end of the song. It's just open, but mute. Don't press them, but mute the fourth and third strings, because when you strum down, if you get that open B in there, it'll be an A9. So I could have just done an open, but I had to put an extension in there because that's what Do You Think is all about. Making things bigger and better, faster, stronger. So the last piece of trivia, I guess, if you will, for Magnify that I didn't mention earlier that I will now that we're coming to a close, is this entire section. So when the key changes around 7:30, the chorus Mike sings on comes in, that was the last part written for the song. And it, in the original draft, I didn't even have it in there. So the song would have ended up around like 10:30, 10:15 or so. Originally, I wasn't planning on this being a 13-minute long song, but yeah, this section was last to have been written. So without it, the song would have the song from here to this opening A section. The original plan was to do this. And that riff keeps going. That's what it was originally going to do. It could have worked, it would have flowed nicely, but we would have never had this big chorus section, which I know is a lot of your guys' favorite part of the song. It's one of my favorite parts too. So yeah, this section almost didn't happen. I think I gave the first draft to Mike just so we can listen to it. And a couple days later, I'm like, forget it. The song is going to be longer. I need to put the section in there. It has to. It's glorious. We'll have your vocals on it. It would just be awesome. So that's how this sucker ended up being 13 minutes long. You know, Bereavement was 8:25, 8:28, something like that. Yeah, that's pretty long. You know, when that song came out, we were like, oh, that's pretty long. And then when this one came out, it was like, that's pretty long. I'm like, yes, but it's worth it, right? Doesn't feel too long once you're really into it. So anyway, that's all I've got. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, the deep dive into Magnify, all the bells and whistles, at least in the chord standpoint. Mike could do one for drums and I could do another one for bass, but I feel like this will do you guys good enough. So I'll have this chart again, just like in my last video. The tab for the song is available. I've not published it anywhere, but if you guys have Guitar Pro or Tux Guitar and you want this tab just to play along or just to have, just message me. I'll give it to you. I don't care. Song is out. So what are you going to do? Carbon copy, record it, and say it's your own? I mean, you can if you want, but that won't be very nice of you, would it? So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys got something out of it. Magnify was such a big song, such a milestone for me and for Do You Think as a whole, and it definitely pushed us ahead a little bit more than I ever hoped or expected, and it's all because of you guys. This would not be worth it and as enjoyable if people like you out there didn't discover it somehow, some way, and enjoy it and keep playing it and request a video of an analyzation of it. I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for people like you. So bravo to you guys We are so thankful that people other than us are big nerds and who like big songs like this. Thank you for your patience. Splendor is on its way. Mike does have a set time to record his vocal parts, and we are going to get this song out there. We cannot wait to see what you guys think. I'll just tell you right now, it is a lot faster. It is way more technical. Dallas really shines in this. It's really shreddy. So if you guys like any of that, it's going to be cool. But the same sort of musical integrity in here, plus all the technical stuff that I couldn't do, but now that we can because we have Dallas. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you later.